Story goes off. Evening, gentlemen. I mentioned your show and and named to one of my enlisted leaders recently. He's senior chief in the Navy, E8. This morning, he mentioned he was getting tired of hearing about his friends he worked with and actively maintained relationships with self-deleting. It's only it's only July, and he's just heard about the third person he personally knows this year who self-deleted.
Okay.
We work in the submarine force. He genuinely, or at least like it so far, asked most of us at all.
Is it a typo?
He's got a typo in there. Sorry, but asked us at all hands call if anyone needs any input or ideas on how to assist with the self deletions. He went on to mention how he's lost a lot of people over there the last 4 to 5 years to suicide. His short story this morning reminding me every bit of some of Pop's stories before he retired and how many men he also buried. Senior Chief's most recent friend who self-deleted was an active duty E7 who left 2 daughters behind unknown if he was married.
Okay. Oof.
He usually walks around the work with the senior enlisted hard-ass face 80% of the time. He's been described as abrasive, but from all the stories I've heard, a great NCO from all counts. This is the 4th recent suicide out immediate command area between a handful of local commands. I personally know of someone who used to work with my first command in the Navy who took his own life just a few months ago. Unfortunately, due to his very introverted nature, most of his command didn't care for the most part, didn't have an opinion about him being gone. That's pretty fucked.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
They seemed to only be upset that he missed his duty day that morning.
Wow.
That's even more fucked. My old friend in question worked out a lot, minimum 1 hour and 30 minutes at the gym daily. Heavy drinker, lots of vodka and hard liquor. Had a hard time interacting with women. Just very awkward dude. I can relate to that.
Okay.
Super jacked. All the supplements. Kind of workout guy. A few of us mutual friends tried to reach out to him before his last mission. He made a lot of not wise choices in his pick of vehicles. This was the definite factor in his suicide. I know the alcohol obviously was a big factor, but his lack of women experience and loner demeanor, I think, made it worse and worse. His death was fairly gruesome. He didn't end himself peacefully or easily.
Wow.
Well, people will love you less if you cause or leave a mess. That's just the way it goes. Now, does it say, did he die in some kind of motorcycle accident or something like that?
Well, I don't think it gives details, but there's a couple paragraphs here to finish it off. I'm not totally sure why I'm emailing you. I've watched most of you guys' content for years. The response to women video got me hooked, and I started looking into you guys ever since. I originally stumbled upon Better Bachelor first in the MGTOW Red Pill community. His original story, I'm pretty sure it was his, of his friend who killed himself over continuously raising alimony and child support seriously, got me looking into the downsides of marriage.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll do it.
A handful of years ago, I was naive and uninformed and thought the idea of marriage was a great overall. Now I know. I hope my senior enlisted friends learns something positive from your content. Specifically, if y'all can recall the best video you'd recommend to military in regards to suicide, I will forward it to you.
Okay, well, one of the best videos I have is the suicide talk I gave at Vegas. All right, and one of the big things that I cover here, what makes me different than some of the other organizations out there to prevent suicide, is I am literally talking about the root causes that are basically destroying love and hope out there. And I'm doing it using logic, reason, truth, and I add comedy to it because that way it sinks in. Now, when it comes to the military, this is going to sound weird, but I have been trying to advertise in the Military Times, Stars and Stripes, Army Times, Navy Times, Marine Corps Times, and I can't get any goddamn traction because I'm politically incorrect. So I'm literally for free trying to help the veterans and service members out there deal with those root causes that are basically throwing our youth into the dustbin of history. And because of politics and hurt feelings, they won't let me get in front of these people. So that, what does that say? That says they don't give a fuck about the servicemen. They don't give a fuck about the veterans.
Yeah,
That's the only conclusion I could come to on this.
What is the what's the old saying there, Papa? Just more meat for the grinder.
More meat for the grinder. Yep.
Yep. All right. He finishes up here with watching your Grunt Speak live now while I write this out and let my brain breathe. Let my brain breathe out and process the news I heard about his self-deletion. Helps me process it. In this idealistic part of my brain, I think it would be cool if you two were the ones who gave anti-suicide training. Seeing how involved you are in trying to make an actual difference in the number of lives you saved would be great. Would be the best general military training to attend, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Thanks for all you do, and thanks for all you do every day. And even when it seems rough, don't quit.
No, it's not in me, man. It's not in me.
Yep.
But listen, if you guys are in the service watching this show, all right, spread the channel around. All right, because let me tell you, I have already made the mistakes. Now I have traversed the tough road, and I survived. And I have a large volume of wisdom that can help the younger guys behind me. And there's no money in hope. It's not like I'm making a bunch of money doing this. I've pissed off the world. Most of my family doesn't talk to me anymore because of this. But, it's got to be done. Somebody's got to do this fucking work. All right. And the psychologists and psychiatrists and counselors that the Department of Defense has hired over the past 20 years have done nothing. We have spent billions upon billions of dollars to hire an army of these useless fuckwits to get no results. And here we have an old grunt with a podcast who does comedy on the internet, who not single-handedly, me and Blake saved 530 fucking lives. Now, if we could multiply that by 100,000, then we could pretty much, cut a lot of this off at the pass, especially for the middle-aged and younger guys. The older dudes, who decide to leave their keys at the desk and punch out when they're 70s, 80s, God bless them. I totally understand that. But, the younger guys, the middle-aged guys, it's this picking of a permanent solution to a temporary problem is just infuriating to me.
Yep.
Well, Pop, don't you have like a number of videos that you've done on this and that aren't necessarily on YouTube? Can you maybe put some links to those in the chat there or something for these guys?
I'll try to find them and get them in the chat. But the one
they were really good.
The one I did, YouTube gave me a strike for it.
Yeah.
They took it down because it's politically incorrect. Now, let me ask you this. Yeah. All right. Agree with me, please. Let me know if this is a true statement. Anything that destroys hope and love is by default evil. Yes or no?
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Now, how do you talk to evil? Are you cordial and polite to it?
Hell no.
Fuck no, because it doesn't respect you. The only thing evil understands is pain and death. All right. Now, we're not in a shooting war, and there's really not much I can do because I'm old. But at least I could hurt evil's feelings by being mean to it and laughing in its face. It's the
Yep.
bare minimum I can do. All right.
Yep. And just to finish that off, that story came from Dirty E6 Petty Officer First Class Submarine Bubblehead.
All right. Now, first of all, you submarine sons of bitches are some sick, twisted motherfuckers. All right. I sat down and I talked to a bunch of submariners when I was doing the 100-year Army Reserve re-enlistment ceremony in D.C. Those guys, their stories are so goddamn demented and psychologically punishing. It is absolutely hilarious. Like the one that I know this is a suicide thing, but the one story that sticks out the most, and this one guy, he had 12 years as a submariner, and he was transferring to do something else. But like the first 3 years he was in there, he remembers his first year in the submarine fleet. He's on third shift, and he's up there in the the pod where they do the steering and all the other crap and all the bells and whistles going. And every time he would talk, they'd be like, "Oh, I don't think so. Why don't you go kill yourself?" For like a year. That's what they did to this guy. And he said he hated it at first, but by the end, he had a Kevlar bulletproof mind. He'd be like, "Oh, yeah." I thought that was hilarious.
I'll get right on that.
Yeah, and they would show up to their watch wearing flip-flops and nothing else.
Good times.
I can't do that now because supposedly there's women on submarines now, which is a big mistake. But hey, I was never Navy, and I'm glad I wasn't.
So what you're saying is there's going to be another vessel that's going to be full of seamen in the Navy.
Probably, yes.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Popp for Supporters Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.